Hey everybody, welcome to the weekend vid. We're going to talk about stocks and what we got going, as well as some Bitcoin. Start with the indexes. SPY, you got the inside week up there above 596.15. We'll like to know about that. And if it does start failing, we'll mind the rev strat as well if they want to try and take her down. But obviously closer to 2 up to start the week. Dow closer to the 222 to start the week. And IWM closer to the 222 to start the week. That's what we want to know about. And then Q's also inside with the SPY simultaneously. So we're gonna look for the simultaneous reversal and or continuation next week on these indexes, which means you could have a big week coming. That being said, we're gonna start with the Dow, which is the smallest universe we've got, and then we'll work into the Nasdaq and the SPY. So start with the Dow, looking for things that have continuity with signals. HON, you'll see the inside bar Momo hammer. We'll be aware it's mother bar, so if that does not stay out just above 230, then we're going to be careful of that. And if we go to data window, here's your exact numbers. There it is, 230.12. If we go to industrials, CAT, potentially rev strat, also still mother bar, so I'm going to be aware of that. It's going to be a little bit softer of a signal, but you do have continuity in your favor there, so we'll see if that can get out. If we go to JP Morgan financials, that's the outside bar momentum hammer rev strat, the 132. So you can see some aggression. They sold it down, bought it up, inside bar, bought it up, sold it down, bought it up. So these buyers are serious, right? Above that, we definitely want to know 249.15. You'd want to be looking at the 252.5s or 255 calls max. If we go to Visa and the financials, a little bit of a doji, but closer to a 222. We'll see. It tells you MasterCard could also be 222. With Goldman Sachs in the financials, there's your hammer. And if we go to XLF, there's an outside bar. So if we can get out of that and stay out, we want to know. And then you will have things in the Nasdaq like PayPal, hammer here. We want to know about that because you could get the PMG month through all these guys. So mark my words, right above that. We want to know 86.84 on PayPal, looking at the 90 calls, giving at least a few weeks of time on that if you're going to go after the swings. Also, you can look at things like a firm, right? They're going already. So if we do get simultaneous break, maybe they keep it going. We got Upstart. They were going already. There's your inside week, right? So we got a lot of financial setting up. If we go to Square, they're already going. So if we get a financial simultaneous break, right, it could keep going. Something we want to know about. Outside of that, some info text in the Dow Jones. And we did add a few things, not from the Dow, just financial sector, just so you know. If we go to CRM, there's your 222 counter shooter that would occur with full time frame continuity. And you'll see on the year, still just 2 up, going at all-time highs. Cisco, you'll see the 3 on the year, right? Bright green, full time frame continuity. That would be a 222 above that, 58.70, right? And outside of that, and that's what we got in the Dow Jones for next week. Let's go and take a look now. See if there's any shooters. That's going to be the next thing we just take a look at. See if there's any pukers in there. Does not look like it. There will be inside week Boeing, which is going to be into conflict. It's counter shooter on the month. J&J inside week. Again, conflict. So we'd prefer that down with the 2-2 day to start the week if they do it. And then MRK, you can see also healthcare on the week, right? Inside week with the 2-2 day pivot machine gun. So on the downside, you'd be looking at XLVs, which you can see a little bit weaker of a close, but closed as a 2 down and green week. So we will see what comes of that. That being said, we're going to now hit the Nasdaq and see what we got in the tech. And I imagine we're going to have a lot of inside weeks, which is a lot of fun. So let's see. All right, so in the Nasdaq with weeklies, the only one that we haven't mentioned yet is Zscaler. You got the inside week. It is bright green. We will be aware of the triangle in here, but it could turn into expando of the try if that weekly works and we stay above this 212.98. That is going to be info text, so just in the tech. If we go to, any 2 downs in green. Maybe some more things in the tech here. There it is. All right. MAR, you have the potential hammer counter shooter week. This is from the macro. So here's your macro video name above 255.33. It's trading about 11% higher, $30. Not bad, right? And the week would confirm that. If we go to Dash, also potential 2-2 week. You'll see on the quarter. This is a 3-2 expando. So if you want to go after the 3-2 expando stuff, we're still trying to go up there in DoorDash, right? So you got a lot of room to go after that. Here's your slight corrective activity. Notice last time they did that right here. So you haven't had much since. So that slight corrective activity could send it flying again right above this stuff. 17756. We will then see PayPal is in there again. So PayPal is in multiple indexes. If we go to communication services, we're going to see a lot of that setting up as well. T-Mobile, there's your hammer counter shooter week. Again, with full time frame continuity, long green bars across everything in there. If we go to TTD communication services, that's a rev strat, right? And you're going to have the momentum hammer quarter. It is into all-time highs, so be aware of that. But they've been pretty aggressive in that one. If we go in here, and you see after earnings, right? Buy it up, sell it down, buy it back up again. So it could go flying. If we go to Charter, give me hammer counter shooter slightly, just a little weaker than the other two. In the info text, we're going to have Intel as a rev strat for next week. If we do look at the semis, slight 2 down in green. They've been kind of a chop shop though, so just be aware of that. And then industrials, you got HON again, you got ADP and CSX again here, rev strat 122, something we want to know about CSX. Outside of that, there is Cisco in there, which I don't think we covered yet. So in the technologies, there's your 222. You see last week they did that. You got about 4%. So we'll see, if they can do that again. They are exhaustion risk, so be aware of that. If you look at the quarter, it is still 3-2. We go to the year. I believe we already talked about that, so my bad. But above that, we have the rev strat year with the week. Spilled my drink here. That being said, we can go and take a look at the S&P. There's probably gonna be a lot more stocks in here. Yeah, a lot to go through. We can look at the bigger names to start. Palantir, PLTR, nice long green bars on the year, right? That's something we like to see. Long green bars on the quarter, the month, and then here's your weekly Momo hammer. That's something we want to know about above this. 64.92, and that is infotech / AI stuff. And we do know AI was our gunner last week on the strat attack, and here's your inside day from Wednesday night's nightly vid, right? And then pretty good. So we want to keep an eye on the AI sector for sure. And less so things like NVIDIA, which haven't been, performing as good, but more so on the things that are going to benefit from NVIDIA, which is like Palantir. It's like AI. There's things like GEV that are also going to be in there. And there's probably more names in there. I just don't have the best list. So if you just Google, AI stock list trading view or something, you will get a list to go and take a look at. But that being said, maybe TRV or yeah, you're going to have to do that yourself. That being said, though, we're going to have a pretty big list in here. Man, oh man. So we definitely have the simultaneous break setting up. So there's going to be a lot here. What I want to do is I'll probably just go over the highest volume names in here. So I'm going to sort it by volume and then I'll be back. All right, sorting by volume, over 1 million. We still got 42. I will skip duplicates, but we can already see Intel and Cisco in there again. We already talked PLTR. General Motors, there's your hammer counter shooter week. Bright green 3-2 quarter exploder with the 2-2 year, 3-2-2. So this is a good one because you got magnitude. So smaller account guys, you go, a couple months out, grab some of those calls up into here, you get about $9. And I'm going to speed up. So here it is. NCLH, gonna have the 2-2-2 green, 3-2 quarter green, year is inside and up, mother bar year. ECG utilities. You see the inside week, momentum. Don't prefer that, but it's going. HPE information technologies. Kind of a grinder. To the week, hammer. JP Morgan, already talked about. SCHW, that's something you want to know about. Financials. And again, we have a ton of financials, so we want to know about that. BMY, inside week, You do have the quarter pivot machine gun back through previous range and Bristol Myers to go with that inside week. Delta Airlines, been a grinder to the highs. Hammer quarter. You got the year all-time highs, so be aware of that. But inside week coming into holiday season, so they should be doing good. Tells you UAL. It's getting to the highs. Tells you American Airlines inside week as well. Alaska Airlines inside week as well for potential airlines simultaneous break. If we go to TJX, you're going to see, we did see retail last week really going on Friday. So bang, right to the highs off the hammer day, pivot machine gun, outside week. So we'll see if that follows through. You'll see the quarter inside up in retail into the holiday seasons, confirming an inside year. So could get going in the retails. TJX is part of that. Here, you'll have Kohl's, maybe, and could turn into a 2-2 back through. If we go to Macy's, you're going to have the 3 in there as well. Off the top of my head, I don't have many other ones to mention here. The A&F, Abercrombie and Fitch, American Eagle, AEO, potentially some PMG if they do firm it up. You can see it's a little weaker, so not maybe doing as well in the holiday seasons, but you got a lot of retail stuff. In the Infotech, CRM, counter shooter, I believe we talked about that in the Dow. In the industrials, Union Pacific, the 122 is a 2-up month, inside quarter, no thank you. In the financials, COF, you see the RevStrat 122. So again, lots of financials with PNC, hammer counter shooter, lots of financials. Industrials. Or waste management, finally out of the mother bar. There's the 222 setup with a 3-2 quarter, and I don't think garbage is going away anytime soon. You might want to know about that in industrials. Norfolk Southern, also RevStrat with Union Pacific, so you have simultaneous break there as well next week. Industrials ADP already talked about. And then more financials, DFS RevStrat week. And then MAR once again. Wow, there's so much stuff for next week, boys and girls. Now, I guess the last thing we can end off here in a Kroger 222, which is your staples, which went 3 last week, so 2 going 3 month. Lots of stuff. Now, when it comes to filtering out, Alex, there's a million things to be looking at. What should I do? It's like, well, we want to go after who's taking out the highs on Monday. Right? We want to go after the ones that break first. And so, for example, if we're going to get this financial break and Visa and PayPal and MasterCard and Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, PNC, not Morgan Stanley, DFS, SCHW, right? If all those are going to break, they're all going to go on Monday and then they'll reconfirm Tuesday. So we can let that open and break and do that for us. And then that will tell us where do we have the most evidence, right? If we're counting financials and only 2 have broken their signals, but we look at industrials and we have 10 signals in force, which one's moving? It's an obvious answer. So that's something we'll want to know about. That being said, we're coming into holiday season, so we're going to watch the retailers, see if they got anything, obviously financials, and some industrials and the tech, AI, and that's kind of the focus. I know it's a little broad to start the week, but on Monday, we'll try our best to narrow things down. That being said, hopefully you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys bright and early on Tuesday morning with the short week ahead. So again, short week for inside next week, not doing anything, so be it. But short week ahead next week. So that being said, we'll see, what's going on Monday night, if anything. And if we don't see a lot of breaks, if we do not see a lot of breaks, next week, then so be it, right? We get a ton more inside weeks, and we'll want to stick to the gaps because that's where we're going to have the highest expectation of volatility, Monday morning is like, where are the gaps and where are the simultaneous breaks? Those are 2 things we're looking for. And besides that, pull it back a little bit. I know there's a lot of reversals, but if they're going to follow through with the short week this coming week, we'll see them reconfirm next week as well. That being said, that's all I got for you. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys Monday night.